Moving on to the next topic. Maybe I should use a voice changer and I put a mask on, I'll get 1 million subscribers. Just make up shite. And when it doesn't come true, yeah, just continue making up shite. That seems to be how you get subscribers on this platform. A Quiet Place 2, I couldn't fit Conjuring 3 in as well. They're proving that horror is still big, but not just big, but big at the box office. They are absolutely tearing it up. These two movies are tearing it up. They're kind of trading places at the moment. And you could argue that Cruella is perhaps a horror as well, and it has done very well at the box office too. Now, it's not, I don't know how it's done over here, because I've not looked at the raw box office figures, but it's doing very, very well in the United States. I've not looked at the raw box office figures there as well. I'm just taking their word for it. MovieWeb in this case. But they're saying that, and this is what they're saying, I'll read it out. The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. I've still not seen it yet. I'm going to see it this week at some point. I'm going to go and see A Quiet Place 2 as well. Won the top spot away from A Quiet Place Part 2, but the margin wasn't wide between them. The Conjuring movie, which is actually the 8th movie in the overall franchise. No, it's not. The franchise, the spin-offs don't count. They're shite. We just count the Conjuring movies. We don't count Annabelle and the Nun. Terrible movies. We just count the Conjuring movies. And I've watched the reviews of Jans and Stuntman. Very different reviews. I'm going to trust Stuntman on this one. And he says it's okay, but it's not the best of these franchises. That's fucking fine. When you've not got James Wan in there, you accept not being the best, but being okay. But needless to say, that aside, has made $24 million over the 3-day weekend. A Quiet Place Part 2. Is that had just come out, The Conjuring, over there? That's late. A Quiet Place Part 2 still proved to have legs, coming in second with $19.5 million. Paramount Pictures will be pleased, blah blah blah, because it's I think that one's just releasing solely in the theatres. It's not got the sort of supporting blanket, the supporting net, I don't know why I said blanket, of a streaming service release as well. So they went with the ballsy decision of releasing this in the theatres during the pandemic, albeit hopefully the later stages. And it's paying dividends for them, man. They've made big money on this movie. And it proves that in the States, at least, because I know historically in the United Kingdom, horror movies don't do as well. But it proves that in the States, there is still a market for great horror movies, or even good horror movies. And if you make it, they will come. Like that fucking baseball one with, I think, Kevin Costner. That I loved, Field of Dreams. Build it and they will come. I love that movie. Oh, when I was a kid, I loved it. The 90s were a simpler time, man. A good time. That was great. I'm so, how shall I say it, thankful to be a 90s kid, man, and grew up with the movies that I actually watched. I pity the kids now, man, that grew up with the absolute shite that comes out for kids these days. It was a better time, man, a better time. But look, I'm getting sidetracked with nostalgia. Let's get off it and come back onto this. So far, the movie has made a total of $88 million in the States alone, with a surge of moviegoers choosing to go and see it over the last weekend, which was Memorial Day weekend, which is a big weekend for releases. I'm not going to read this entire article on board, but needless to say, $88 million is very, very strong. That's a very strong showing for The Conjuring. Not The Conjuring, for A Quiet Place 2. And hopefully The Conjuring, with that strong opening, $29 million did they say it opened with? Let's go back and just double check. $24 million. That's a very strong opening as well, man, for a movie of this ilk, the third in a franchise during a pandemic. So it's promising for the studios, man. They've had to have a long barren patch, a year and a half of essentially being half opened and then not opened at all. The likes of AMC, trillions of dollars in debt. They needed a resurgence. And with these being smaller releases in the grand scheme of things, when you think of what's to come, No Time to Die, the huge Marvel releases, I'm trying to think what else is coming out. There's an abundance of great movies still to come out, big movies as well. So these studios as well, and the theatres will be rubbing their hands with glee at the performance of these movies, because it's promising for when Shang-Chi and Eternals and all of that come out. I think they will do strong. I think they'll probably make in the region of, I'm trying to find out where my mouse cursor is here, in the region of $600-700 million. I think they can do it worldwide, maybe even $1 billion. So good to see the movie industry rebounding after that horrendous year, because it was a horrendous year for a multitude of reasons. Doomcock and Mike Zero, both are trolls. I take Mike Zero over Doomcock. Mike Zero over Doomcock. Mike Zero at least shows his face, and it takes balls to show your face, believe me. He's not the best looking guy. He's like a combination of Brian May and someone else. Stephen has got the best combination. He comes up with the other guy. He's kind of like Brian May with a hairdo. He cut his hair though, didn't he? But I tip my hat to Mike Zero, because he's got the tenacity to actually show his face, whereas Doomcock is a fucking coward. He doesn't show his face. He hides behind a helmet. So he gets no respect from me whatsoever, and he talks one load of shite, as I did say. So no respect from me. I take Mike Zero over Doomcock. Look, I'm going to move on. I'm getting distracted by my